Hello, guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I hope you're comfortable. And this is Pips and Profit. And on this channel, on weekends like this, we do a recap of the previous week. So, this is our weekly outlook on what has happened on the major currency and major currency indexes and what we're looking out to happen in the coming weeks. So, right away, we're going to be going straight into the charts to look at the things that has happened in our favorite currency pairs and what we expect to happen in the coming week. So I'm very excited about today's episode because many of the things that we said we were waiting to see actually played out in the market just the way we wanted them to do. Okay, so just with a few exceptions, looking at the Dixie as usual, we'll start from the Dixie and then we'll go into GBP USD, Euro USD. And of course, if there are any other currency pairs you'd want us to analyze, you can write that down in the comment section and I'll make sure to do so in the coming videos. Okay, so looking at Euro, the Dixie, we're anticipating that the Dixie is going to make a way into this level. You can see the video on the top right corner of this current video. So we're anticipating that the Dixie was going to trade somewhere into this other block because this is where we're expecting it to get to as a next point of interest. Okay, and just a bit of a disappointment. We were expecting it to close bullish, way bullish above the previous week, but it closed bullish, but not above the previous week. Now, if you can see the whole swing of the Dixie, you can see that this is the swing low and the swing high. It retested the 61.8 region, tapped into the 78.6 region, and now it's making its way to the upside. So we expect it. Our overall target for the Dixie is all the way to this swing high, right here at 107.336. Okay, so the Dixie has tapped into this level and given us some level of retracement. Now, going into the next week, you can also see that the Dixie tapped slightly into this fair value gap right here. So we can say that the liquidity residing around that area has been consumed. Look at the fair value gap right here. Very small fair value gap. Okay, so he tapped into that small fair value gap to give us the low of the week. And after doing so, it continued its way to the upside. You can see that give us the low of the week right about here and then continue trading upwards. Now that it has retraced, we want to look at it on the daily time frame to see where it's retracing to and where we can continue buying the dollar from. All right, so onto the daily time frame. So based on the weekly time frame overall, we are bullish on the Dixie. Now, looking at the daily time frame, we've seen some decent retracement of the Dixie. Okay, so this was the last swing. We'll swing that and we'll draw a fib on the 4 hour time frame. But for now, let's just stick to what we have on the daily time frame. So we can see that the Dixie has traded into this level and gave us a retracement. Now, this retracement is quite deep. So currently, based off the last swing, the Dixie is on a discount level. So we'll be expecting that going into next week, we'll be buying the Dixie with full force and we'll be looking to trade it all the way to this high. Okay, so this high is our next potential target for the Dixie. Okay, so we're going to mark that out and let's make it a little bigger so that it will be easy to identify when it gets there. Okay, so this is the next target for the Dixie. So going into next week, this is what I want to see happen on the Dixie: a break of this high, a retest, and then continuation to go for the last high. So this is what I want to see on the Dixie going into next week: a break of this high. All right, so I'm looking at the Dixie trading all the way above to break out from this order block of the weekly. Okay, so I'm very bullish on the Dixie, even on the daily time frame. Now, looking at the 4 hour time frame, as I promised, I was going to fib this level. Now, look at the last swing. You can see that clearly the Dixie is on 61.8 region, and it has also tapped this other block, which is right here. So this is what happened last week. The Dixie traded all the way up and then came back to tap this other block right here. So currently, let's take this off. So currently, we're seeing that the Dixie has given us some decent level of retracement. Would want it to continue going back up. So this is my expectation for the Dixie, a continuation to the upside. So going into next week is as simple as that, very clear analysis. I'll be waiting to see the Dixie resume its uptrend. All right, so let's go into Euro USD and GBP USD before we round up the video. Now, looking at the Euro USD, of course, we want to start from the higher time frame. Okay, So looking at the higher time frame of the Euro USD, let's bring that up in a minute. All right, so looking at the daily time frame of Euro USD, it's still working a little cluster, so I'll decluster it right now. All right, so better. This is way better. So looking at the daily time frame of the Euro USD, we're anticipating that the Euro USD will continue coming further downwards. Okay, now look at this, guys. Remember last week? Let me take this off, and this guy too. So if you remember last week, we said Euro USD created a liquidity sweep right here. It created some liquidity right here where it gave us a double bottom. The first one here, the second one here. And as at last week during the last video, we said that Euro USD is going to come to sweep this liquidity because it has created it. It's going to come and sweep this liquidity. So this was our projection for last week, a sweep of this liquidity and some decent level of retest. And that has played out. All right. Based on the weekly time frame, we are clearly bearish on the Euro USD. All right. And what we're expecting to see going into the next week is a continuation of the bearishness. Now, where is our new target for the Euro USD? We're going to be taking this fib off also because it has achieved its objective. So this is our new target for the Euro USD. Okay, our new target for the Euro USD is this low residing right here. Okay, so going into next week, this is what I want to see on Euro USD. Trade into this level, a retest, and then a continuation downwards. So this is my expectation for the Euro USD. The sell-off immediately will kick off the new week. All right. So going into the 4-hour time frame, you can see that the Euro USD has given us quite some decent retracement. All right, and probably we may see the Euro USD take out this high. Okay, we may see the Euro USD take out this high and give us something like this going into next week. A break of this high and then continuation to the downside. All right, and by the way, we still have something very interesting right here, which is this order block on the upside. So if Euro USD continues to break above this high, I'm going to have a second bias on Euro USD, which is to trade into this fair value gap and then continue downside because this is an imbalance in price and we need price to retest that level before it continues going back downwards. So these are my two projections for Euro USD to sell off from where it currently is after maybe taking out this high or to trade all the way into this fair value gap and sell off, right? So that is that for Euro USD going into next week. So this is where I'm expecting to sell off Euro USD from. Once I see my entry signatures in any of these two levels, I'll be willing to sell the Euro USD. First level above here, second level above here. Okay, so GBP USD is the next in line. Now looking at GBP USD, let's start off from the daily time frame. Now it has broken out of the range that we're anticipating that it breaks out of. It has done so very clearly. Now the next thing we're anticipating to happen on GBP USD is this. Okay, so I'm gonna discluster my chart. So guys, it's always important to decluster your chart immediately you've achieved any objective that you set using that chart. Okay, so it's always important to decluster it once those are the objective has been met. All right, so back to the analysis for GBP USD. So saying that GBP USD currently trading off this order block based on the 4-hour time frame. There's another block right here. So trading off that other block, it has given us some decent retracement. Now we're expecting it to continue falling downwards. So based off the daily time frame, we're expecting GBP USD to start selling off to take out this low. All right, so this is where the liquidity is lying, somewhere around here. This is our next liquidity point for GBP USD to trade into. So it has taken out internal liquidity, traded to take out external liquidity, and now we're expecting out traded to take out some internal liquidity, and now we're expecting some external liquidities to be taken to the downside. Okay, so this is it. Breakout of this internal liquidity traded into breakout of this external liquidity traded into internal liquidity. Went back up into another internal liquidity, which is this order block right here, this particular order block. Let me highlight that. This order block in particular, yeah, this one. So traded into it, and there are some fair value gaps on the 4-hour time frame in this level. We'll see that shortly. And after that, we're expecting some bearishness to the downside to take out the rest of the liquidities residing below. So looking at the 4-hour time frame, you can see the fair value gap right here. So we're going to reduce this to something like this, to this. Okay, so a quick tap into this fair value gap was what GBPUSD did last in this just concluded week. We're expecting that it's going to continue to the downside. Now, another level where I'm expecting GBPUSD to trade into is this level right here. I'm expecting going into next week. I'm going to show you that on the 1 hour time frame. Going into next week, I expect GBPUSD to trade into this level and give us something like this. Trade into this guy and break low. So this is my only bias on GBP USD. Once I see it trade into this level, I'll be taking my entry signature to the downside. Okay, so this is about this is quite wide, so I would want to see some confirmation because this is about 60 pips stop loss if I'm going to enter from here and put my stop loss here. Okay, so I would want to wait and see some entry signature. So what I want to see on the 1 hour time frame, when price gets into this level, I would switch to the 15 minutes time frame. I want to see something that looks like this to the downside, and then I'll be going short on GBPUSD and putting my stop loss on the high it created on its way up. Okay, so that is that for GBPUSD. If you see any of these things, feel free to hop on the trade but apply proper risk management while doing so. All right, so thank you very much, guys. One more thing before we conclude the analysis for today, we're going to be looking at the forex calendar for next week. Okay, so looking at the calendar for next week, on Monday we're going to have a quiet day based on the US bank holiday. Okay, so there's bank holiday in US and Canada, so we may expect some quiet days, some quiet trades for that day, and that is just the major news for Monday. Going into Tuesday, the CPI for the Canadian dollar, but I don't think it's going to have so much impact on other major currencies. So Tuesday is going to be a very smooth day. Then on Wednesday, we're going to have minutes from the FOMC, right? So they're going to have a meeting on Wednesday, and after the meeting, they're going to release some minutes. So by that time, we should be good in our trades, or maybe possibly out of our trades if we are not. Well, Thursday is a heavy day. We're going to have PMI for Europe, French, German, and I think Italian PMIs are going to be coming out, and then they're going to consolidate all that by 10 a.m. GMT plus one to give us the flash manufacturing PMI and the flash services PMI of European countries. All right, and then we're going to also have that of the Great British Pound, both flash PMI and services, both flash manufacturing and flash services PMI. They're going to give us two. That is what we're anticipating to happen going into um, next week. Okay. Then lastly, as usual, the big dog, the USA is going to have their own flash manufacturing PMI release that same Thursday. So Thursday is the only heavy uh fundamental day for next week. So apart from that, every other thing is going to be moving smoothly. We anticipate that the market is going to be in our favor. So until then, we wish you good luck and good trading. May the pips be in our favor. Cheers and God bless, guys. See you next.